Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. My name is Margaret, and I am the lead consultant for Double M Immigration Services. So, waiting to see. Thank you, Shovi811. Thank you for joining today's live. Thank you, Ms. Rutem07. Thank you so much. So today, I've been getting lots of inquiries about people who want to visit Canada. So I just said, you know what? Let me just, pop in here and see what questions you guys have so that we can discuss it together. We can talk about it. Okay, so please, if you have any question, you can pop in and ask me. Right? So many people thank you, Bluefin Immigration, my friend. It's so nice. Thanks for the support. Thank you. Bluefin, do you want to join me on today's live session? You can send me a request. Thank you, Oyedez. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love. Thanks for the support. Okay. All right, Bluefin, I'm adding you. So let's do this. Like I mentioned earlier on, I've been getting lots of inquiries about people who want to visit Canada. People are asking me questions. Can I work in Canada? Can I come as a visitor? Can I come as a business visitor to like attend a conference? Can I come to Canada even if I don't have a family or if I don't have anyone to give me an invitation letter? Yes. So let's discuss about this today. That's why I'm here for you. Thank you so much,
Hi,
Lucien.
I was just online and then I saw your notification. I said, let me just up in. Thank you for taking this initiative to doing this. I know everybody has their own busy
Yeah.
schedule. So we can just hold on a little bit if we see more people come in and then, you can start the discussion. And I think it's very, very important at this point, when you come live, you're able to attend to people's
Yeah.
questions. DMs
Yeah.
are always full. So this is the avenue. I would encourage everyone, if you have your questions, keep sending them in. I would I would help you in reading out the questions out loud and then
Thank
yes,
you.
because I also equally receive a lot of inquiries about, oh, I have a VC visa, how do I convert it to a work permit? So I know you're here, you're equally capable,
Yeah.
so I will leave the floor for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you, Oyegoke, Adegoke Zeke. Thank you for joining today's program. So yeah, based on the title, let's talk about visiting Canada. What does it mean to visit Canada? So when you're applying to visit Canada, there are several platforms under which there are several categories under which you can visit Canada. Thank you, Chisom Sandra Kuti. I appreciate the love. So thank you, Ben Lazik. Thank you. So when you're coming to Canada as a visitor, so there are several ways you can come to Canada as a visitor. You can come to visit families. If you don't have a family, you can come as a tourist. If you don't want to come as a tourist, if you have a specific purpose, like maybe you want to visit, you want to come for a conference, or you even have you want to do a business in Canada and you want to know what, let me visit Canada, let me see what it looks like, let me see the environment in which I want to invest my money in, then yes, you can equally apply to visit Canada as a visitor. So, and then one big question I get asked all the time is, if I come to Canada as a visitor, can I work in Canada? Hmm. That is like the major inquiries I've been getting in the last few days, because when this big announcement was made and that you can convert your visiting visa to work permit, everybody just came in. Like everybody wants to come to Canada. So yes, it's possible to come to Canada as a visitor and be able to convert it to a work permit. However, there are several conditions that has to be met before you can do that. It's not as simple as walking into Canada as a visitor and then you're expecting, boom, I have a what do you call it, a job offer. I have an employer, so I'm ready. And some people don't even have a job offer yet. They just feel that, okay, when I come into Canada, I just get a job, boom, 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 and then, you know, I'm getting a work permit. So as a visitor in Canada, when you want to work, when you want to convert your visiting visa to work permit, you have to first get an employer. So it is not all employers that can facilitate your work permit. It is not all employers that are qualified to employ foreign worker, because when you come into Canada as a visitor and you decide that you want to work in Canada, you are still a visitor, okay? And you are going to be a temporary foreign worker right now. So to be a temporary foreign worker, the employer itself has to meet the requirements set up by the government. And you also, as the employee, you have to be qualified for the job you are being brought in to do. So when you get your visiting visa, if your goal is to come here and be able to transition, you have to think, well, you don't just hop on the plane and come here and start looking for a job. Because I see so many people, they are here already, they've spent 2-3 months, they're looking for a job. And, you know, the more time you spend in Canada as a visitor doing nothing, you are making it more difficult for you to come back to Canada, because you are indirectly showing Canada that you don't have anything doing in your home country. You can afford to leave and come back at any time. You don't really have substantial ties to your home country. So we need to be extremely careful with our decisions, so that if you plan to come to Canada, if your long-term goal is to come to Canada, spend some time as a worker, or even relocate permanently, whatever you do as a temporary visitor or as a temporary resident in Canada, really, really matters. It can go a long way in
Please, thank you for bringing this up. I would really want you to emphasize on, this also shows that you're violating your rights that was given to you, because the impression is that you're coming to Canada to visit. So you come in, you're not doing what you're doing. Now you're looking for a job. So your visa expires, and then you want to apply next time, it could raise an issue. Applying to jobs while in Canada may not, you have to already have that plan, be looking at jobs even before coming. So I like that you raised that fact. Coming in with the intention of visiting and nothing else more than visiting. If you're called by an employer, take up the job. So thank you for sharing that.
All right. Thank you so much, Bluefin. I really appreciate your input. So another major criteria that you need to meet up with to be able to work in Canada, or to be able to get a work permit as a visitor, is your job offer has to be backed up by LMIA. LMIA is the Labor Market Impact Assessment. So there's a government agency in Canada that handles assessing foreign workers, or people, foreign nationals that wish to come to Canada to work. So because you cannot just come in to work without having employment. So what this agency does is they evaluate the Canadian market. They check the statistics to be sure that the job you're coming to do, there is no Canadian or no temporary resident that is legalized to work in Canada can do that job. So they don't want a situation whereby foreigners are coming to take jobs when Canadians, permanent residents, and legal immigrants in Canada, legal temporary workers in Canada, are unable to get that job. So you need to be extra prepared. You need to be intentional. Let me just put it that way. You need to be intentional when you plan to come to Canada to work. Okay, so when you get this job offer from your employer,
I also want to put this out. Sorry for cutting you short. I don't want people to come with the intention, get a visiting visa with the intention of coming to work.
Thank you
for visiting with the intention of visiting. Respect that privilege. Because I know there was a time where we were shouting, they're not giving Nigerians visa, there's this, there's that, they're not giving us visa, our visa processing time is over 700. These are some of the trends that they see.
True.
They see a lot of my people coming into the country and not leaving.
Yes.
So I encourage people, if you are given a visiting visa, come in, visit, see the land, enjoy your vacation, and go back home.
Yeah.
If you've seen an employer that you like from back home, connect with them if they're willing to do the job for you. So
Yeah, thank you so much for that input. Okay, so yes, so like I mentioned earlier on, there are several ways you can come to Canada as a visitor, as a bona fide visitor. Okay, so first, most of the criteria that is being used, that there are some people that are given special priority. Let me put it that way, quote and unquote. People that are coming to visit their families here. So Canada is very big on uniting families. Even though your family member cannot come to Canada to stay with you permanently, Canada wants you to be able to visit your families in Canada. So if you have a family in Canada, a close family member that is willing to invite you, that is, that is in good standing in Canada, yes, you can you can apply to visit Canada. Also, if you have a conference that you want to attend in Canada, yes, it's possible. Okay, just make sure that when you're booking the conference, you are booking a valid conference. You've paid for your conference. You have enough money to carry your expenses. So even if a family member even if a family member is inviting you to come, you need to have substantial amount. So let's assume the family member has any personal issue and is unable to support you when you get here. Canada does not want you to come here and be stranded. Okay, we don't want you to come here and be stranded, and you are looking for ways to now stay because you cannot you cannot you cannot meet up with your living expenses. You cannot afford to to rent a place, to maybe like to get Airbnbs and stuff like that, or even an hotel. Yes. So Canada does not want that. Okay. And then also there are people that are called business visitors. So some people, they have intentions to invest in Canada. They are looking at the options that they have. And because of that, they would like to visit Canada just to have an idea of what the environment they wish to invest in, they wish to do business in. Yes. So yes, you can apply to visit Canada as a business visitor. And then also, there is a category of people also that can also come on a business visa for companies that have branches in Canada. And they want maybe one of their employees that is outside Canada, that is not a Canadian permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, to come in, inspect the work location, or even temporarily train some people for some few days. Yes, you can. The business can apply for the employee to come in for business purpose and then go back once they are done. So that is those are some of the reasons why people want to visit Canada. Bluefin, I don't know if you have any other point that I've not
No,
touched on.
you've actually you've said a lot. Visiting is visiting.
Yeah.
Work is work. So if you're coming for a visiting, Canada is very beautiful. We have a lot of provinces and territories. We have I think we have the largest freshwater mass
Yeah.
in the world. Yes, so it's very beautiful. So many sites, so many beautiful places in Ontario, Saskatchewan, Manitoba that you can actually visit. So I'm rooting for my country. Come to Canada for visiting. But when you come solely with the intention of coming to visit. So I think that's it. It's if anybody has any question, you can throw it into the chat box. I can help you double M. So read it out. And I don't know if you can also a little bit, because I know online there's so much about study permit. If you have one or two tips, January 2024 students they're getting ready to start their application. That is if they've not even started submitting their application, but just one or few tips to help people.
Well, actually, you mentioned studying in Canada. For January students, if they've not yet gotten admission, like the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. Yeah, so it's almost too late, right? Because openings are programs are filling up really fast. You know, most people that miss the September admission, they want to come in January, and before you know it, the spaces are filling up fast, and then visa application is taking forever to come out. So if you're still planning to come to Canada as a visitor, that's just a digression. If you are still coming to Canada to visit, to study, yeah, in January, if your aim is to come in to visit in January, then you need to act fast. You need to start looking at schools. You need to have applied right now. Yeah, so that you can get everything together and apply it for your visa before before September ends, so that you can get a decision as fast as possible. And yeah, so though currently in terms of visiting visa for so many countries, there is a wide range of processing time frames. So, and most times when you tell people that this is the time frame according to IRCC's publication, so nobody can actually assure you that, oh, your visiting visa will come out in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Every immigration consultant, every immigration lawyer, everybody that is involved in immigration in any way would always work on the processing time frame that is published by the Immigration and Refugees Citizenship Canada, that's IRCC, because we cannot decide. So, I know in some countries, if you want to get their visa, you can easily tip somebody here and there and get it done, sharp, sharp, boom, boom, boom. But in Canada here, you can't really say. Yeah, you can't really say. So if anybody is promising you, don't worry, your visa will come out in 4 weeks. Oh, my friend's visa came out in 3 weeks. There are different reasons why people's visas come out faster than some other people. There is priority. If what you're coming to Canada to do is not deemed a priority, it will not really, there is no motivation to quickly approve your visa, right? But if what you're coming to Canada to do is something that is deemed to be a priority, that is deemed to be important, that is deemed to be something that is time specific,
time bound,
So yes, so it will really, really, really improve your chances of getting your visa faster. Okay, so
can you give us an example of what could be like a priority? The one that comes to my head is funeral of a family member, parents coming to help their kids, nurse their newborn, medical reasons. I think that's a couple of parents coming in for their children's graduation.
Yeah, sorry to cut you short. Okay, you mentioned parents coming to help their kids take care of their grandchildren. We really need to be very careful on that, because if you are coming to visit Canada and you are telling the visa officer, I'm coming to help them take care of my kids, it's a different scenario now. Now it's looking like you're coming to be a caregiver for your grandchildren.
Okay.
I know if you're coming from like an African setting where I am from, we help our children to take care of their children. We help, for some parts of Nigeria, they call it Omugo. Okay, but in this in Canada setting, it's not seen as Omugo. If the way you are wording your reason for coming to Canada, if it's not done right, it might lead to a refusal. Okay, it might lead to a refusal. Okay, so if you are coming to if you are coming to support your child that is about to have a child, or your daughter-in-law that is pregnant, yes, simply state that you're coming to support. As a new mom, you just want to support, not that you're coming to help take care of the children. It has taken you from just being a visitor to being a caregiver.
Yes.
And to be a caregiver in Canada, you have to have a work permit. So yes, that's one of the few mistakes that so many people make. So then some of the reasons that might make your visa applications faster, like you mentioned, Bluefin, you said funeral. Yes. So if there's a family member that has lost someone in Canada and they really need to come for the funeral, yes, it can be considered as an urgent reason why you will visit Canada. Also, if you have like a conference, or let's assume for some people they call them the exchange students. So they are in another country. They are looking forward to coming to Canada as a visiting student. So they want to just come to Canada to look at the school they intend to go to and see if it's worth it to come as a visiting student temporarily. Yes. So if you are looking at a particular session, if you are looking at starting at a particular session and you want to come to visit ahead of time, yes, it's possible to apply for the visiting visa just to visit the school, to check out the environment, ask questions, have first-hand experience of what the environment of the institution looks like. So yes, and also if you have maybe a family member that is celebrating wedding, yeah, though sometimes that is not always taken as a very, yeah,
Yes.
like
Yes.
if you don't attend the wedding, it doesn't kill you. Okay. And then
Yeah.
for some people, they have family members that are really sick and at the point of death, and they want their loved ones to be around them in their final days. So yes, so people come to visit Canada for that reason, and then yes, the visa officers, they always look forward to helping them in getting to Canada on time, since it's a time sensitive situation. And what else? So many reasons. I can't think of so many right now, but yes, there are several reasons why people come to Canada to visit. Yeah. But just make sure that when you're coming to Canada, let your reason be legitimate. Don't come to Canada with the hope of doing something else. Don't come to Canada as a visitor with the hope of doing something else. If what you want to do, if your end goal is different from visiting Canada, you need to make your plans ahead of time. You need to make sure that you are doing it the right way. Don't use
Yes.
visiting as an avenue to come here to seek
Yes.
asylum. Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
I get so many inquiries about people that want to visit Canada and they're asking, what if I don't get a job? Can I seek asylum? No, please. I beg you, don't come to Canada to seek asylum just because you think that you have a visiting visa. Seeking asylum is a very complicated process. Mentally, it's
And it also
taxing.
has to be genuine. It has
Yes, it
to
has
be
to be
genuine.
genuine. Yes,
I also want us to emphasize we don't abuse this different pathways that the government has put in place.
Mm-hmm.
Asylum is you're fleeing fear, you're fleeing persecution and all that. So don't just come in because you're given the visiting visa and then you're asking for asylum. Then you're abusing it. And I also want us to know that even though IRCC may not come out to say it, but there's a
Yeah.
trend. They also go back and do their reviews. If they see
Yeah.
that, oh, we gave 500,000 Nigerians visiting visa, only
Mm-hmm.
1,000 came out. What is going
Yes.
to happen in the next year when they're doing their review? They're going to be stricter. They're going to be very, very detailed. So we don't
Mm-hmm.
want that. I see a lot of people are getting these things as easily now.
Yeah.
So I encourage people, come in, go for your visiting, enjoy the country. If you've been looking at some schools online, visit those schools physically. If you want to apply to them, if you've been seeing some attractions online that you've been saying, go there, respect and follow the rules of your immigration pathway, which is visiting. Come in, visit, and do what you have to do. Because when my people come in now, and you people don't go out,
Mm-hmm. Yes. So whatever you do does not only affect you, it affects other people. When there is a
Yes.
particular trend, yes, so it's going to really affect the rate at which other people's application get approved. So yes, so we really need to be very intentional. Make sure that whatever we are doing, we are putting into consideration the long-term effect it will have on your immigration plans. So if you're planning to come to Canada to stay you know permanently, then you have to follow the right process, follow the right channel, look for programs that are really that you
Eligible for.
qualify for. Yeah, so and go for it. Don't use visiting as an opportunity to want to come here and stay permanently. In the long run, there's like 99% chance that you will not get, to be able to stay. And then you're stranded. and then you've left everything back in your own country, and it becomes a really, 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 really messy situation. You don't want to be in that situation, honestly. You don't even want to be. So please, if anyone is advising you come to Canada as a visitor, don't worry. Once you get there and you seek asylum, they give you work permits, and then you start working. It is not that simple, please. It is not that easy. Don't let anyone lie to you. It is not easy. Canada's PR, Canada's asylum process is not that simple. It is not that simple. It is very expensive. Even for the people that are fleeing persecution for real, it is expensive. Lawyer fees and all other fees, and so many processes that you have to go through to prove your case is genuine. Because yes, like Bluefen mentioned, to be able to seek asylum in Canada, you have to have a genuine reason, which is that you are fleeing persecution. You cannot say that you are in a city like Lagos and you are fleeing Boko Haram. They are not stupid. They will know. They have an embassy in Nigeria. They have an embassy. So they can easily verify whatever it is you're saying. If the embassy is still standing and there is no news that there was a bomb blast in Lagos, and you're saying you're fleeing Boko Haram. No. Somebody in Abuja saying that area boys are threatening his life, and then he's coming to Canada to seek asylum. They will ask you, why don't you go to Ghana? Why don't you go to Ibadan? In fact, I've seen cases where they are saying that, hey, there is no area boys in Abuja. What do you mean by area boys in Abuja? Because these people, they have their records, they have ways of verifying this information that you put out. So even if for any reason you lie on your application and for a slim chance you get the opportunity to come in, you are just delaying the day of evil. That's just this. That's the long and short of the story. You are delaying the day of evil. Yeah. So please. So if you're coming to Canada,
any question, please ask. Double Hem is here to answer the questions. Let's see. Let me check the chat box. I don't know if you have some questions there.
Okay.
Have any question?
Let me check.
And then a question comes to my mind. So if someone comes in as a visitor and then visits the school and then wants to apply for students and maybe went to the school and then got the admission offer from the school. So for example, someone comes into Ontario and got admission with Amber College. Does it change if they're applying? Is there any benefit of applying inside Canada or outside Canada, or still the same rules as back home? Do they need to still show proof of funds even though they're in Canada?
Okay. So some of the requirements to be a student in Canada is, number one, you have to be able to finance your education. So whether you're in Canada or you're outside Canada, even if you're extending your work permit, you're already a student in Canada and you want to extend your work permit, you still need to show. Oh, sorry. Thank you. And you want to extend your study permit. I don't know why I love work permits. Maybe I love work too much. Yeah. So if you're coming here, so if you're coming here as a student and or even if you are here as a student and you are looking at extending your work permit, you are renewing your work permit, you need to still show that you have enough money. You still need to show that you have enough money to be able to finance your education. And then you still need to prove that you have genuine intention of studying in Canada. You also need to show that you have tangible reason for coming to study in Canada. Because I've seen some people that got refused because the officer thinks that it's an unnecessary expense.
Okay. There's someone is asking a question.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone is asking a question. Oyedez is asking, is there a way you can convert your visiting visa to permanent?
Okay.
I think it's yes and a no.
Yes. So, but there's a really thin line in between answering that question. Yeah. Because if you say yes, it means you are telling the person that, oh, yes, just come in, there is a pathway for you. Okay. Yes. So yes, there is a temporary resident to PR pathway, but it is not for everybody. It is not for visitors. A visitor that needs to convert or to change to permanent resident has to follow the path. You have to apply for permanent residence program that you qualify for. You still
Yeah, yes,
need to
thank
meet
you.
that requirement. Yes. So
Yes.
yes, so you cannot do it automatically. So if you are coming to visit and your intention is to stay permanently, when you come visit, go back, plan your permanent residency program. Plan what you intend, plan for the program you intend to apply for to come to Canada as a permanent resident, because Canada has hundreds of programs for different nationals, for different reasons. There are different pathways to being a permanent resident. So figure out the one that you qualify for, apply for it. Don't intend to come here as a visitor with the hope of converting to a permanent resident. No. Okay.
Yeah, and I can just add a little to this, that I would say your first visit should be about like mapping. So you've been looking at Amazon, you've been looking at all these other top companies. So now that you're in Canada, you can visit them, you can visit their HR and see, okay, so this is how it looks like. This is my resume. And then, kind of build connections. If you're thinking of coming back to study, go to the school, Amber College, Cape Breton, there's so many, Northern College, the schools in Timmins, Waterloo, University of Waterloo, visit those schools. This is me, this is my transcript. I just came into Canada. Do you think I can get something? Speak with the professor. So if you've been looking at this particular very difficult and very competitive master's program, yes, you can connect to the school. Book a session with probably maybe the professors, the supervisors. Use that your first visit to do all that. When you have the connection and then you go back home, and then you can send them an email. Okay, I came to meet you now. I'm ready to apply. So that is how it works. Within that 6 months, you may not be able to convert. It's almost impossible, really, when you look at it. It's almost impossible to convert from visiting to permanent residence. Yes.
Well, not that it is impossible. It is impossible in 6 months to convert from visiting to PR. No, it is impossible, because the document gathering to get an invitation to apply for permanent residence, even if you qualify and you get an invitation to apply for permanent resident and you apply, it's not going to be processed in 2 months, 3 months.
Yes.
Yeah. So
a question just came to my mind now. And it was all over the internet for, I think, the past 2 weeks. It's still ongoing.
Okay.
So I'm a plumber, I'm a carpenter, I'm an electrician. I heard that Canada is looking for us from Nigeria. What do you have to say to that? Because I have a lot of plumbers and an electrician and mechanic in the DMs. What do you have to say to that?
Yes, and I have so many people too that are going to start learning different trades because they want to they want to come to Canada. So the truth is, yes, there is the Federal Skilled Trade Program for artisans, for plumbers, for carpenters, for people that have for handy people. Let me put it that way: electricians, HVAC, experts. Yes. So, but to be able to do that, there are requirements. If you're a plumber, you need to have the right license to be able to practice. You need to do the necessary work. It's not just about, oh, I'm a plumber. Do you meet the education requirements? Do you meet the training requirements for the program? Do you meet the language requirements? So Canada has 2 languages. 2 official languages, let me put it that way. They have French, we have French and English. So you have to be proficient in at least one of those 2 languages. Okay? So apart from being proficient in that language, you have to have the right certificate that will qualify you for that program. So it's not just as simple as I'm a plumber. Everybody in the neighborhood knows me. I'm in Yanokpaja. When you get to Yanokpaja bus stop and you ask for Baba Nuru, everybody knows I am the plumber there. No, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, everybody knows you here. but you have to prove to Canada that you qualify for that particular profession you're coming into, and then you have enough work experience and you have the license. Canada is really big on licenses for people that are in trades. Electricians have licenses, plumbers have licenses, carpenters, they have licenses. So those licenses just shows that they have gone through the required trainings. They know the specific requirements for the province where they are practicing in, or they intend to practice in. They know everything that they need to know. They know the law that guides, or the laws that guides their profession. So those are some of the things that certificate proves. So if you don't have the certificate, you don't have the education, you don't have the language requirements for that program, it's going to be almost like impossible to do. Yeah. So, but yes, Canada is still looking for carpenters. Yes, we are still looking for plumbers.
Yes, I know it sounds so difficult because while you were sharing that, I was opening up the requirements, and I can, if you permit me, I can read out the minimum requirements. Is you need to have like the IELTS English language. You need to have that. You need to have at least 2 years of full-time work experience. You need to meet the job requirements of that skilled trade as set out in the NOC. That's in the TER now, and then. And you also need to have a valid job offer of full-time employment for a total period of 1 year, or certificates of qualification in that skilled trade issued by a Canadian provincial territory or federal territory. I think my people specifically bundle all this one together and threw it out of the window and just said they want plumbers and electricians. So, the requirement is always there. I tell people Canada is very heavy on eligibility. If you don't meet that minimum eligibility, then look at another one. So we also advise also for international students. So if you're after your PGWP, you're looking towards PR, check is your province, does your province has something for you? Look at other provinces, see what you can do. So if you don't, there's so many programs for you to just tap into. So thank you for touching that on that electrician and plumber thing. It was so much on the news about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So I think we've been you've actually spent a couple of time here, like answering questions and all that. So any final words? If you don't have any other questions. If anybody, I see someone else just joining you. Juma joined. Yeah. So if anybody has a question, you can quickly just put it in the comment section, the chat box, and then I would read it out to Double M. If not, Double M, what do you have to say before you leave?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for, this is like my first show. This is the first time I'm showing my face that, this is the face behind the Double M Immigration Services Limited. Yes, this is me. This is Motunrayo Margaret Adewale. And thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for following. Thank you for the questions. And thank you for those that came for a short while. It's a busy time here. So here in Canada, it's like our lunch break hour, So many people are having coffee. They're having their lunch, and then, they can join. Yes, we appreciate you. And the video will be available. So if you want to watch again, you want to, play back and see and listen to what we discussed, yes, it's available. And thank you so much for coming. And Bluefin, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. I just saw you on live and then I said, let me jump on this. And it's good, and I would encourage you to come as often. It's also a message for me myself. I don't do live all the time. Okay. So I would say because we need to sensitize our people of the right thing to do. If you look at my videos, I tell people, if you're planning on coming to Canada, Canadian immigration is a project, whichever way you want to put it. A big project, a small project, a mini project, a pet project, it's a project. Any information you put in on that application and press the submit button stays with Canada for as long as you live. So you need to be careful. You don't want to just meet any roadside person telling you, oh, you've been refused Canada before. Don't worry, leave them. is more than 10 years ago, they won't see it.
Yeah.
Canada will see it. So I know for the NSPPDD people, what God cannot do does not exist. But please, with Canadian immigration, do the right thing. That
Yeah.
is my takeaway. Because as much as we like to support people, I find it a little bit very challenging when you've actually gone the wrong way,
Yeah.
make a lot of mistakes, and then bringing the mess back because you need an immigration consultant. Why don't you consult with us in the beginning when we put in the good application for you from the beginning than, going elsewhere, make it worse, and then come in and then, okay, I'm here. And what I don't really like is most people will not even say that, oh, it's an agent that did it for us. Oh, we did it ourselves. So please, please, our people, that is why we are here. I am a Yoruba woman. I don't know about double English is Yoruba. Ejo, Dalu, Biko, use a regulated Canadian immigration consultant for your immigration. Don't toy with it. If you're not using a licensed immigration consultant, I will encourage you, do it yourself. If you come on, I encourage people, there's so many people, there's so many tips on Instagram or Facebook. Go to www.cic.gc.ca. Do it yourself so you know what you're putting in by yourself, not somebody. We've had this very unpleasant situation where agents log in for students and they don't give them their username and their password.
It's wrong.
So when there's a refusal, they don't even know their UCI number. They don't even know their application number.
Yeah.
How will immigration bring all these things out? So that is just my own takeaway.
Yeah.
Bluefen, if you have any Double M, if you have anything else or not, I will call it today. Thank you.
I wanted to mention that, so many people, they just tell them, bring so amount of money. You don't need to get proof of funds. You don't need to.
How much is your package?
They're always looking for package. Please, please. Any immigration program that requires you to have financial resources, have legit financial resources to show. Have it. Don't come in as a student with packaged funds and you are getting to Canada and you want to seek asylum, stating the fact that you cannot afford to pay your tuition. Please. Don't come to visit Canada and say you want to stay back because you cannot afford your flight back home. No, no. So please. And, like I would say once again, whatever it is anyone is doing for you, review the documentation they are putting in for you. Review it before they submit. Review it. I will repeat it again. Review and review and review. Be sure the information is correct. Because if they submit a wrong information for you, if there is a wrong information submitted, it stays on your profile. It stays on your profile. It's your life. It is your immigration program. Sorry, it's your immigration plan. So if anybody has put anything wrong or fraudulent on your profile, it stays under your UCI number. UCI is unique client identifier. It's like your unique number. It's like your number that they use to identify you. So even if you submit an application and you don't put the UCI number, they will trace you. They will match your information and trace you. Your biometrics, everything is there. The database is extensive. You don't want to be in a situation whereby, somebody has written something wrong and then you are trying to erase the wrong thing and, it's a very messy situation. And I don't encourage anyone to, I don't want anyone to be in that situation. Okay? So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today live. And I hope once in a while I'll try to show my face and then pop in and say hello, everybody.
I'm also talking for myself too. All right, thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Bluefen. Bye. Thank you, Kelly's Travels, for joining. Thank you.